Hi, I'm Cynthia Soledad, and I co-lead the Global Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Council here at Aegon Zender. In addition, I'm a former marketer and a member of our Chief Marketing Officer practice. In conjunction with the 10th Annual Kellogg Marketing Leadership Summit, I am thrilled to be joined in conversation today by Fama Francisco, the CEO of Baby and Feminine Care at Procter & Gamble, to talk about the intersections between brand leadership and diversity and inclusion leadership. Fama, welcome. Thank you so much for continuing the conversation today.
Thank you, Cynthia. It's always a thrill to be with you.
And I wanted to start today by asking you, why are you personally committed to diversity and inclusion?
First of all, as a woman, as a working mother of four, frankly, as an introvert in the corporate world, and we know what that's like, as a Filipino native, and as somebody who grew up from a very humble background in a developing country. It's so important for me because I did not come from a background of privilege. So when I started my career in Procter & Gamble Philippines as the first female sales manager hired in the history of the company, that came with its own set of challenges. Imagine I was a 20-year-old woman
Right.
With a sales force of 99 men. And that came with challenges, but a ton of learning. And I really built upon all of that learning for the next 3 decades of my career as I lived and worked across 3 different continents and as I accelerated into higher levels of responsibility in the company. I truly realized the value, the tremendous value that diversity, equality, and inclusion can have on individuals and can have on an entire organization.
How do you and your team work together to drive progress in diversity and inclusion?
I realized that as CEO, I have a tremendous responsibility to lead by example. And honestly, that starts by listening, by valuing differences and the occasional disagreements, and by really paying more attention and priority to substance versus style. And I realized that all of this is important because ultimately it's how I walk as a leader that influences how our brands talk. And as an organization, we are very committed to also use our brand voice to take a stand on diversity, equality, and inclusion. But ultimately, as marketers, we have to do it. I always challenge my team and I always ask us and ask ourselves, if we are not driving the change, then who will?
And what kind of reaction have you been getting to your brand's efforts in diversity, equality, and inclusion?
You know, the decisions that we make on diversity, equality, and inclusion is driven by the fact that, frankly, we believe it's the right thing to do. I can tell you that it's had a tremendous positive impact on employee morale and a sense of purpose for our employees and the total workspace, which honestly leads to better results. And so I'm happy to share that under my leadership, the Baby and Feminine Care leadership team in P&G is one of the first ones to have achieved a true 50-50 men and women leadership across our most senior executive leadership team. And in baby care, we have 13 senior executives. 13 out of 13 are all from different countries and different nationalities. I've also seen that our retailer customers are very excited and supportive of our D&I commitments, and they want to work with us to accelerate our impact to broader society. And I can tell you, combining the power of our brands and combining the power of our retailers really maximizes our impact to society.
So we've seen a lot of brands try to wade into this space of social engagement, and it can be a tricky balance to ensure that the way in which you do that doesn't come across as self-serving to the brand. How do you balance that?
You know, Cynthia, authenticity is absolutely key in this space. So one example I wanted to share with that is our work on Pampers Share the Love. And the uncomfortable truth that the team found out earlier this year that 9 out of 10 moms felt that they weren't doing a good enough job. And majority of them would consider themselves to be their own worst critic. And I think many of us can identify with that. And so that was the genesis of the Pampers Share the Love campaign. The other example that I can share is back in 2014 on Always. The uncomfortable truth that our team found is that over 50%, half of girls at puberty experience a major plummet in their confidence, and many of them never fully recover from this. And so that was the genesis of the Always Like a Girl campaign, where the team wanted to take the meaning of everyday phrases like a girl and turn it from, frankly, an unnecessary insult into something that means very positive things.
So, Fama, as we close our conversation up today, in our 10th anniversary year of the Kellogg Marketing Leadership Summit, I'd love your closing thoughts on the things that marketing leaders should be thinking about at this intersection between diversity and inclusion and brand leadership.
My first thought is now is the time. Now is the time for us to make a big difference on diversity, equality, and inclusion, both in the workplace, with the teams we work and the organizations we build, and the culture and the profile that we build around that. And second, in broader society, with the impact that our brands and our brand voices can have. And I know that the next generation of marketers and brand leaders are looking to us to really make this an inflection point. So the time is now.
Fama, thank you so much. You and your brands are having a real impact on society.
Thank you very much.